Hey guys, how you doing? This is Ricardo Suber, and I know we have a lot of people logging in tonight. The notifications are going off. I'm super excited, and the first thing I want to do is I want to actually apologize for everybody. Oh man, my phone's going crazy. I want to apologize to everyone who actually logged in yesterday. For those of you guys who don't know, maybe you just got the invite today. We actually had this webinar planned for yesterday. And yesterday, when we actually shared the information, we were excited. All of the flyers were done. We were getting ready to go on air. And I got a notification that we weren't able to broadcast. I had some things that I had to clear up on my YouTube channel. And so, everybody out there who's a YouTube partner, if you've done business with YouTube, and this is not a knock against YouTube at all, but unfortunately, there's so much that goes on in YouTube, and I'll even put the blame on myself. I personally wasn't, I guess, detailed oriented enough to actually see that I wasn't able to broadcast yesterday. So I cleared up the issues last night, and so here we are today, launching this particular webinar. So I am so excited, guys. Very enthused to bring about this information tonight. I hope you guys are ready for some great information. And with all that being said, I'm actually going to bring myself onto the screen. This is Ricardo Suber. Excuse the background. I'm actually broadcasting live from my parents' home. What I love about this profession of network marketing is that you could truly do it from anywhere. And so I'm actually spending some time with my parents in the Boston area. For those of you guys who actually saw the video, the promotional video that we had, I was right outside in the yard. A whole lot of snow outside still out here in Boston, but I'm just so feel so grateful and blessed to be a part of such a phenomenal profession known as network marketing. And so I'm actually assuming that I'm speaking to most of my peers. I know we have some people who are curious, and that's fine. Everybody's welcome. And what I'm actually going to do tonight, and we still have a lot of people logging in, I'm going to really break down some great information. Now, what I want to make clear first of all, and I'm going to see if I can actually enable this. I want to actually enable. I think at the end I think I can enable Q&A. So I definitely want to take some Q&A at the end. But one thing I want to make clear first off is that this is a no recruit zone. This is not going to be any specific to any MLM. This is for anybody in the network marketing profession, any home-based business with respect to network marketing. I want to keep it in the spirit of my mentor, Eric Worre, that this is a no recruit zone. This is a safe zone. This is a 100 supportive zone, because the thing is, there are way more people outside of the profession of network marketing than are inside. And so I feel that just as a community, we need to stick together and definitely uplift the entire profession. So all that being said, we have a lot of people tuning in. I'm so glad that we're seeing the numbers just jump up. And for those of you guys who do not know me, my name is Ricardo Suber. I've been a network marketing professional for going on 4 years. It feels like just yesterday. I almost feel like an old man saying that, because in this profession, I mean, 4 years is very significant. And I'm just so excited to bring about this information. And so with all that being said, guys, we're actually going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to keep it on time, and I'm actually going to share these slides. So all that being said, guys, take a deep breath, take some great notes. Someone joked with me earlier. They're like, you have the Victor Newman black shirt on, right? For those of you guys familiar with soap operas. But anyway, I'm going to break down some really good information. I'm not going to skimp out on you guys. I'm really just going to focus on helping all of you really learn this social media game so you can take your businesses to the next level. So all that being said, let me go ahead and share the presentation. And here we are. So of course, that's myself. This is our free social media mastery webinar. And once again, if you guys don't know me, my name is Ricardo Suber. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few minutes, tell you a little bit more about myself, more about the landscape of social media. with respect to a lot of the statistics and things that are out there. And then I'm going to get really specific and show you guys the 5 pillars at which I was able to grow a very successful business with no prior experience, no fancy magic tricks, just really learning by trial and error, by studying, by doing a whole lot of reading. And what I'm going to do in this webinar is really take the time to compress what I've learned over the past 4 years and really put it into some powerful information. So if you haven't yet, share the link, whatever link that you use to get onto this webinar, share that across social media, get your teammates on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow you to at least use social media as a sift through spot. Learn how to gather prospects from social media and put them into your business. Okay, and we're going to actually bridge that gap tonight. So with all that being said, guys, now I think that I always say this in all my presentations when it comes to network marketing, you always need to start with the reason why you do something. And I believe it's going to help you guys understand, I guess, the fervor at which I'm coming from in my whole approach. I do this business because of my family. I do it for my parents. And it's not just a reason that I just say just to, sound cute in front of the room. That's what I really do it for. All right. And anybody who knows me knows I'm very family oriented, hence why I'm here in Boston. And, I do it for particularly these 2 individuals on the left. Of course, you see a little screen share, a little frame magic that I did for Mother's Day. In the middle, you see my parents, actually holding me. I was very obnoxious as a kid. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see actually me with my father. I forgot I think we're at Canopy Lake Park, for those of you guys who are familiar with the Northeast. But this is why I do this business. And I was actually born and raised in Massachusetts and went to high school in Atlanta, college in Virginia, came out with a degree in computer science. And, I led a life that is probably very similar to many of you guys. I just did what my parents told me to do, stayed out of trouble for the most part, and did pretty well. I came out of school, worked at a small startup company, and then within about a year, ended up working for one of the world's largest computer companies in the capacity of a software support engineer. So I was making great money. Things were going well. I thought I had it going on. Here I am in my early 20s, making close to 6 figures. But yet, I was seeing people many years my senior, kind of in the same position, making a little bit more, but people who were scared of retirement. And what was interesting was within 1 month of me being hired, they actually eliminated pension company-wide. And we're talking, a company with nearly 300,000 employees. And I think today they have about half that. So the thing is, I knew that there had to be a better way. And so that's when a gentleman I already had a lot of respect for, he had done some tremendous things with respect to business and entrepreneurship. He had introduced me to network marketing, and I took a close look at it. And I think even initially I kind of turned away at it because he had introduced it to me when I was working. But after about 5.5 years at that company, close to 7 years in corporate America, I was let go. And so I think many of us understand what it's like to be kind of left without up a creek without a paddle. So I was looking for something different, and that's when I found this phenomenal profession. And guys, it was not easy. I got started literally only after a couple of months of this gentleman getting started, so he could only teach me so much. But I followed the system, and I eventually got it. But what I owe to my business, and I'm going to get into this, of course, but what I really owe to my business taking off is social media. And you guys are going to see what I mean right here. Now, again, more about me. Again, I'm Ricardo Suber. Now, I am also an author. Shortly before I was let go, I started to look into ways of making some extra money, and one was writing books. And so I actually authored 4 books, self-published 4 books, and became an authority on building relationships through social media. So here's a fun story for you guys. And again, I'm gonna make it this personable, okay? Because I'm talking to you guys. All right. And again, pardon the background if you're late. But one of the things that I really had trouble with was meeting women. You guys are probably trying to figure out where I'm going with this, right? This is an MLM social media webinar, but I'm talking about relationships, right? But truthfully, I had a lot of trouble meeting women. And so in my late years in high school and even in college, I used the internet. I used MySpace, Friendster. For those of you guys who know, Black Planet, Mi Gente, Asian Ave, even JDate, right? I covered the gamut, and I used social media to be able to become better with women. So that's the honest truth. And over time, I just got better at it. So back when people were ripping open their AOL 95 free trial CDs, I was ripping through those. And I was using AOL chats. I was using all sorts of services to just get better with meeting women. I was shy, so I was trying to make up for lost time. So as time progressed, I got so good at it that a good friend of mine, and actually one of my first recruits in MLM, but one of my very best friends, Phil Walker, never forget this, he was like, look, you need to start writing books on this stuff because you're getting really good. It was to the point where by my freshman year in college, I already had known a lot of women on campus, you know, even like in my first few weeks of school. And the reason why was because I was using the internet as a sift through spot. And I was getting good with connecting with people online. And so once I got recruited into MLM, those skills just carried over. So I'm going to teach you guys some of the principles that I personally followed. So with all that being said, what I did was all that translated and helped me build actually the #1 YouTube channel in my current company. According to views, we're at nearly 1 million views right now. I think we're a little over 750,000 views. I was actually, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, I was a featured guest on Dr. Phil, the Tyra Banks Show. I am currently a contributing writer in Ebony Magazine. I've been on dozens of radio shows, many of them being mainstream Clear Channel shows, including Ramiro and Pebble's show up here in the Northeast, which is extremely popular. I've sat on various panels, been able to speak on panels with people such as Chris Kazi, also Chanel Cooper Sykes, so many people who are very well known in the relationship business. And I brought a totally unique perspective because my approach was social media. So the thing is, how does this translate into network marketing? As you see there on the right-hand side, if you've been in this profession for at least 24 hours, you need to know who that man is on the right. Aside from myself, I'm standing next to Mr. GoPro himself, Mr. Eric Worre. Now, Eric Worre, for those of you guys who don't know, he's a best-selling author of a book called GoPro and Network Marketing. I think this is a must-have in our profession. And there was one statement in that book that totally resonated with me, because I want you guys to keep this statement in mind throughout the entire presentation. And he basically said that what will dictate your long-term success in our profession of network marketing is to get a large group of people to do a few simple things over an extended period of time. And so the thing is, when I was reading that book for the first time and throughout my tenure in network marketing, I noticed that most of us just do not know how to recruit a large group of people. Now, it sounds simple. We don't know how to do it. But the thing is, most network marketers just don't have a big team. And so even as I've been able to build a great big team, a large team, I noticed that my skills weren't necessarily able to be duplicated. Now, we have a great system in our company, and I know there are thousands of network marketing companies out there, many of which have phenomenal systems. But the thing is, what we have to understand is that things are changing. We have to understand that the landscape has changed. We need to understand that, as you guys have already seen, the world is moving so much faster. All right. Now, my buddy on the left is noticing, okay, you know, there's a bunch of flowers in that field, but what he'll probably also notice is that the ice caps are melting. Well, what are the ice caps in the real world? Well, the ice caps are the fact that we're becoming more and more connected. Well, what does that mean exactly? Well, that means, for instance, You're noticing that places like Blockbuster Video out of business, right? What's a Blockbuster? Many of you guys might be saying if you're in your teens, right? You know, Blockbuster just did not have vision beyond Netflix. They saw Netflix coming, but they did not change their business model. And Netflix just allows people to not only share movies, but to be able to watch movies out of their home. And then when you talk about being more connected, well, what's happening with a lot of taxi drivers? Many of them are becoming disgruntled. I know plenty of taxi drivers and taxi cab owners, because every time I sit in a taxi, I ask them, hey, how's work? And I would say about half of them complain about services such as Uber, such as Lyft, Sidecar, all of these services that are driven by social business. And then, of course, we have our phenomenal profession of network marketing, which again is quickly replacing traditional advertising. You know, we all know the power of word of mouth. And so the thing is, the landscape has changed. Now, obviously, people should understand, and I wish more MLM companies would understand that. And I'm grateful to become a part of a great company that is understanding this. A lot of our companies are understanding this. And that is the fact that we need more social media training that's incorporated with our existing training. The same old rules, yeah, they still work, but we need a new approach. We need to tailor fit these to social media. So all I'm doing in tonight's webinar is I'm not replacing your current system. All I'm teaching you how to do is to reach out to a new network, to reach out in maybe a different way, but to still incorporate many of the things that you're being taught. And so as you see there, the one way that I found to be virtually connected everywhere at the same time with everyone is social media. So the thing is, why social media, guys? Social media, very simply stated, is the only way to be everywhere at the same time. Now, as you see there, 72% of all internet users are active on social media. This is jumping up dramatically. 18 to 29-year-olds are using it at close to 89 or close to 90%. We have the 30 to 49-year-old age bracket sits at 72%. 60% of folks 50 to 60 years old are active on social media. And even above 65, we're talking about nearly half are active on social media. And so the thing is, when you're looking at all this, combined with the fact that we even have access on the go. So you mean to tell me that you can not only connect with people while they're at home, but even while they're on the go? That is so powerful. You know, with 70+% users being able to access it from a mobile device. This is huge. And so the thing is, many of you guys, you know, how did you find out about this webinar? Probably through social media. All right. So now, what has it done for me? Again, I have the #1 YouTube channel in my current company. I say that humbly, but it took a lot of work. But I'm going to actually break down a lot of the things that helped me get here. You know, nearly 1 million views and thousands of high retention subscribers. It's actually helped me to recruit family, classmates, coworkers, friends, and total strangers. And now, even besides the total strangers, when it's come to my warm market, people that I already know or people from my past, social media has helped me connect with people. Even, I mean, very recently, I had lunch with somebody I haven't seen since 2nd grade. All right, last time I saw him, we had a sleepover. I think I was 10 or 9 years old. And so, you know, social media has helped me do that. Social media has helped me recruit people I haven't seen in over 15 years. Now, it's also led to me earning several company earned awards. I'm actually in the top echelon of customer producers in my entire company, the top 1/2 of 1%. I also, you know, it helps me to provide value and not only present and gather prospects, but it keeps our team connected. We're in about 29 different states. We're also in Canada. We're about to bring on a team in the Philippines as we launch there later this month. So it's helped me to present and bring on large teams, and it's given me tremendous brand recognition. I'm going to break out all of this, guys. This is, I've never personally seen a social media webinar on the internet that will go into as much detail as we're getting into tonight. So that being said, many of you guys are facing some common challenges, you know, and I want to let you guys know that you're not alone, because no matter who I recruit, and I've recruited, or no matter who I've spoken to, These are, I would say, the 5 most common challenges that come to network marketers when it comes to recruiting. The first one is, having an exhausted warm market or a negative warm market, especially if you've been in a previous opportunity. Now, I'm in my first company, and as far as I'm concerned, my last company. But the thing is, things do happen. Sometimes, you might have a different vision, or maybe the company does, or things just go belly up. But what happens to those people who have to go from one company to the next, and now you burned all your warm market? You've already told them you found something great, and then, a year or two later, hopefully not any less than that, but sometime later, now you want to introduce something else to them. So that's a common reality. Or how about being frustrated with your current results? Many of us were trying our best, but at times it can get frustrating. At times we all get people who say, I'm going to look at the presentation, and guess what? They didn't look at the presentation. Sometimes we're frustrated at being at our current pin level. All right, it happens. How about being overwhelmed with tools and not knowing what works? Now, in this day and age, I mean, we have magazines, we have push play DVDs, we have push play presentations, we have home meetings, we have all sorts of tools that we use to keep prospects engaged. Well, which one do you use and what works? Sometimes it can feel overwhelming. How about just a lack of consistency? We all know that as human beings, well, what happens every year? We all have a list of New Year's resolutions. And usually by around this time, we've forgotten most of them, right? And definitely by, around this time, gyms are starting to lighten up, and they'll probably get busier again as we approach the summertime. It's just normal. Many of us just aren't consistent. And then last but not least is not knowing where to begin. A lot of times we get started, maybe we have an inexperienced upline, or even if we have an experienced upline, sometimes it's just hard to know where to start. And so we're going to address these tonight. And so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to keep this very simple, but it's going to be very impactful. There are 5 key areas that I've learned in social media that's helped me build a very, very large business, help many of our team members to do the same. And I'm going to pass this knowledge on to you guys. Now, the first one is preparation. Secondly is providing valuable content. This is so important. Third is, of course, prospecting. Now, there's a reason why that's third, and you'll see why in a minute. Fourth is presenting. How do you present your ideas? How do you present your opportunity? And last but not least is perfecting your brand. Ladies and gentlemen, perfecting your brand is one of the things that no one is really talking. Like, I really don't see people talking about this. But what's helped me so much in business is that people have begun to not just associate me with my company, but they even associate me more with the brand that I've built. Many of you guys already know my brand, which is Get Off the Rat Wheel. It's Success with Suber. My company is great and phenomenal, but the thing is, we need to understand that we're all building companies within companies. And I want each of you guys, even though all of us, of course, are a part of an MLM, and that MLM has co-founders and more than likely a CEO and, a staff, right? But the thing is, wherever you go, you want to look at yourself in the mirror, and you don't want to just say, I'm a businessman. You want to say, I'm a business man. That was actually a line from Jay-Z. But you want to look at yourself as the CEO of your organization. So what's your organization called? You need to have yourself branded as well. You are a brand within a brand. You're a company within the company. So we're going to break that down tonight. And what I want each of you guys to do as we go through this information, take notes, but I want you to stay to the very end, because for those of you guys who are serious, I have something very, very special for you. So you want to stay to the end. I'm going to break out some very, very powerful information toward the end of this webinar. Now, that being said, the first pillar is preparation. All right. Now, as you see here, it's a very cute picture of a little mouse, and he has a helmet on. He's ready to get that cheese. And there was a great quote by a gentleman by the name of Miguel Cervantes, who said, to be prepared is half the victory. And that is so true. So many of us are running out there and we're firing before we aim. We don't know where we're going. We run out there in social media. How many of us, and I've been in this situation, but how many of us got started in this business, and we began to throw up on family and friends. We told them, hey, I found it. We're going to be rich. You started to explain what your company could do, whether it was weight loss, whether it was services, whether it was vacation, whether it was vitamins, whatever it was. We threw up on our friends and family. We alienated them immediately. Now, what would have happened if we knew everything that we knew today? What would have happened if you knew how to correctly get them in front of a presentation? You'd probably have your very first best friends in the business. I know for me, the very first person I alienated was my brother. I love my brother dearly, but he was my first, we call rotten apple that I approached. And much of that blame goes to me because I introduced it to him wrong. So we're going to talk about how you're going to properly prepare yourself. Now, the first thing you need to understand with social media is that, of course, there's a lot of tools, there's a lot of great websites, there's a lot of great social media avenues that we have. Now, what you need to understand is when you are signing up for them, what you're connecting with, okay? With Facebook, realize that this is, of course, the most popular and the widest reaching social media website right now as of 2015, okay? Also, Twitter. Twitter is extremely popular and has a huge mobile following. So how many of you guys understand that 3/4 of Twitter followers actually access Twitter on a mobile device regularly? Okay. Then you have LinkedIn. Now, this is something that I didn't know until I began to study this, is that LinkedIn actually has the highest income demographic. Okay. So on average, you're dealing with people who have higher incomes. So how many of you guys are dealing with situations where people never have the money to get started? The question is, are you using LinkedIn? Okay. How about Instagram? Instagram is, of course, largest among 18 to 29-year-olds. So again, many of us are looking to recruit young, fresh blood into our opportunity, yet we don't have LinkedIn, we don't have Instagram accounts. Same with Vine and Snapchat. All right. Well, look at YouTube. Of course, YouTube is the largest and most social, all right, video sharing service. This is vital. This is key, especially as you're building your brand. All right. When you attend your company events, are you taking video? Are you uploading them? Are you sharing them with friends? Okay. And then when you look at Google Plus, obviously through this platform, this is Google Plus. So the thing is, if you have a Gmail account, which most of us do, understand that there are close to, I believe we're at close to 2 billion Google Plus users. And that's just by default because many of us have Gmail accounts. And when you have any Google account, well, guess what? It's your gateway into YouTube. It's your gateway into Google Plus, into Hangouts, into all these great things. So how many of us are actually active on these sites? And then, of course, like I said, we have Vine, Snapchat. There's so many more, but I wanted to cover the big ones, okay? These are like the big 6 or 8 if you want to count Vine and Snapchat, okay? So you want to make sure you know the lay of the land. Who are you trying to target and what are you going to use for your arsenal? My best approach, my best word of advice for all of you guys is to maybe start off with 1 or 2 that you're really good at. I always suggest Facebook and then maybe add in Twitter or LinkedIn, and then you want to go from there. But definitely understand that there is an approach and it depends on which social networking site that you're tackling. That being said, here are your tools for success. These are non-negotiables. First off, you want to make sure you have a smartphone. Most of us do, so that should be a check. Also, you want to make sure you have a great digital camera and camcorder if possible. Now, this isn't vital, but I would say this is close to vital, guys. You want to have something that takes very, 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 very good quality. And you can get a very decent digital camera. Now I'll tell you what I use. I use a Canon Rebel T3i. Okay, I hit a bonus in the company and I said, you know what? I'm going to invest a lot of the bonus back into the business, but I'm going to, I'm definitely going to invest in one of these cameras, and it's helped in my business. The pictures that this thing takes is phenomenal. The pictures in the flyer were taken with that camera. And it not only does great still shots, but it does great video. You don't need to spend $600–700 for a camera. You can get a great digital SLR for under $100, but it's nice just to have because, look, we use our phones for so much, and if you don't happen to have a higher end phone, at least get a decent digital SLR camera. Most of them have recording features. Make sure you have a decent computer. That goes without saying. Okay, your tablet and your smartphone may not do all the things that you need for it to do, like to store important photos, to store a lot of things. Okay. You also need to identify role models. And specifically, you want to identify role models who are great with social media. There are so many out there. I respect so many. They're not difficult to find. But the thing is, you want to identify great people that you can follow, that you can emulate. Find people in your current company. It doesn't even have to be me. Now, of course, I'm biased. You could follow Ricardo Suber. All right. It's very easy to find me. But the thing is, find someone in your company who's killing it through social media. And you can usually tell they're active, they have a whole lot of interaction. Find them, and then also have your own .com. Is your name, your first name, last name .com, is that a website? All right. If you happen to have a common name like John Smith, be a little creative, like Success with Smith or Success with John Smith, or doing business with Sally Johnson. You know, whatever it is, brand your own .com. And then last but not least, so many of us aren't doing this. This personally doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but whatever company that you're in. Now, there are so many companies out there. I'm going to give some examples. We have services-based companies that deal in essential services. We have vitamin companies. We have companies that do weight loss challenges such as shakes. We have companies that market electricity and gas. We have companies. I even learned that there are companies out there that do public adjusting. There's all sorts of great, phenomenal businesses out there. Whatever your business is, become a product of your product. Buy your product or service. And the thing is, when you buy your own service, this is the magic of network marketing. I began to notice this too. When I began to buy our products and services, and when I started to demonstrate how they work and the changes that I've seen, whether it's been in my own bills or with my own body, with my face or whatever it is, people notice. And all we do is we just share stories, share your experiences, but it starts with becoming a product of the product. How are many of you guys in business and yet you don't have any of your own products? How do you market something when you go to somebody and they ask you how it works and you try to tell them instead of showing them how well it works? So you want to do that. So just like it says there, with travel clubs, go on vacation. With service-based companies, save some money, get on your own services. Weight loss, lose some weight, or at least feel great, or be able to tell stories of other people if you're already at your ideal body type. But the thing is, guys, become a product of your product, because this plays a key role in your social media strategy. And so all this ties into your profile. Now, a lot of you guys don't realize this. This is one of those things that you don't really see on the surface, but it means a lot. And what means a lot is the fact that your profile, it tells people what you need to know. Many of you guys out there who are looking at this webinar have prospects looking at your profile right now. You don't even know it. While you're listening to me ramble on, you're maybe someone that you approached and they said no. Maybe someone that you may have just randomly added, or maybe even someone you didn't even add. They might just be following you, or maybe they're just stalking your page, right? Maybe it could be an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend. I've had people from my past admit that they were following me for weeks, months, and even over a year, just watching. And so the thing is, what is your profile saying about you? So what I want each of you guys to do, and write this down, don't do it now, listen to me, but what I want each of you guys to do tonight, go to your biography, whether it's, I mean, all these websites have little biographies. Now with Facebook, you have a little bit more leeway, but even Instagram, of course, LinkedIn's more professional, but craft your biography in a way where you show how you help other people. I see so many biographies that are just touting a website, or maybe with the biography, it's all about me, I. No, you want to show how you help others achieve their goals, because so many people out there need our profession. I don't care what your company is. I don't care if you market gummy bears. There's a 3-year-old out there and a mother who is like, man, I got to get my child to relax. I need to get him some gummy bears. Now, I'm being silly, but guys, We all market products and services that people love and use. That's why the companies that we're a part of are multi-million and multi-billion dollar companies. So the thing is, show how you help other people achieve their goals, but do it in a way where you leave a little bit to the imagination. Okay? Just keep that in mind. Also, have a mixture of personal and professional photos. Okay? Now, this can differ a lot based on your social media website. So, like I just said, on LinkedIn, you do want to keep it all the way professional. LinkedIn, you need one main profile photo, for instance. And then, even in little places in your biography, you can actually now put in like a little gallery, a couple of photos, but you want to keep that all professional. But when it comes to, especially things like Instagram, Facebook, MySpace is not really hot anymore, but the thing is, you want to mix it up. You want people to feel like they're getting to know you, not just business you. You know what I mean? You want people to really feel like they know you. Okay? Now, the thing is, also make sure you're using high resolution banners and cover photos and art that communicate your message. So for those of you guys, just very briefly, if you don't know what high resolution is, go to google.com. And when you go to google.com, you're going to click on images. You guys might see this right above the search bar. You'll see images. And when you search for any kind of image, there is an option there that allows you to choose the size. All right. Pretty much everything that would be under the large category, that's high resolution. Basically, high resolution images are phenomenal because they just look prettier. They're attractive. How many of us have been to Facebook pages or looked at backgrounds of Instagram or Twitter pages, and they're all fuzzy, they're blurry? That does not give you a professional appearance. And the thing is, guys, you always want to show that you're in a position of authority. That's what all of this is beginning to do. When you have a great profile that communicates your message, when you have things out there that show that, not only are you a fun person, all right, but you also want to show the professional side. There are too many of us who are all about the fun. All right, ladies, there are too many of you who are a little bit too scantily clad, many of you. And fellas, just to keep it fair, there's too many of you guys who are just being ridiculous, all right? Posting too many ladies who are scantily clad, all right? So the thing is, and a lot of people ask me, well, should I have a separate page for this, a separate page of those, a separate page for that? I say no, all right? Unless you're running something completely explicit outside of network marketing, you do want to commingle. All right, you do, because the thing is, people do business with those that they know, they like, and they trust. And they want, typically most people want to do business with people like them. And most people in the world are people like you and I. They have different sides to them, different personalities. So you want to display that in your social media profile. Now, the thing is, here's the second pillar. Because now you've prepared, you have an idea of what social media networks you're joining. Of course, many of you guys aren't novices, so here's where we get into the good stuff. Now, the thing is, many of you guys do not understand this, but it's so important that you want to provide valuable content. This is our second pillar. Now, if you see on the left, you see a gentleman by the name of Zig Ziglar, who recently passed away, but Zig was phenomenal. And one of his most well-known quotes, I use it all the time, I think it's so vital, especially in our profession, and that is, you can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. All right? You can have everything in your life that you want if you help enough others get what they want. The thing is, guys, you want to give. You always want to give valuable content with your social media strategy, no matter what it is. You want to help people, even when you think you're not helping people. There are so many casual observers, it's ridiculous. And here's something that kept it all in I guess, perspective for me. Many of you guys already know, if you're on Facebook, you'll probably notice that videos on Facebook, it's starting to take over. As a matter of fact, you'll probably notice that with videos on Facebook, for instance, you now see a counter. So you can tell how many people are viewing videos. Now, when I used to post videos on Facebook, I might get 5, 6, 7, 10 likes, 15 likes. As I started to get good, I'd get 40 and 50 likes. But see, here's what I noticed. The videos that I got 10 likes on, I noticed that those videos now had 400 or 500 views. For the videos that I got 30, 40, 50 likes on, many of these videos have over 1,000 views. So the thing is, guys, understand people are watching you. They're clicking onto your stuff and they're not necessarily liking it, but they see it. So you want to make sure that you're constantly giving value, because when you give value, you're putting yourself in a position of authority. Now, this is probably the greatest contribution to my success, and that is to give. Now, again, it helps people know you, helps people like you, and it helps people trust you. So now when you're giving valuable content, here's how you do it with your updates. Now, there's three categories. There's three sides of yourself that you want to keep in the forefront of your social media updates. Now, by no means is this recruiting, but this sets the stage. Providing valuable content is key, because most people won't listen to you try to prospect them until they see a good profile, until that they see that you're providing valuable content, and then they're a little bit more receptive to your message. Too many of us are going out there and we're just throwing up our opportunity, asking people, hey, do you keep your business options open? And in the back of their mind, they're saying, well, who are you? All right. So we have to take care of this. Now, show different sides of yourself. Now, there's three main sides that you want to show. I always put this as number one because it's the most important, and that's lifestyle. Even if you're brand new in the business, show the lifestyle that's at least possible with our valuable profession of network marketing. There's people in my company, in your company, and all of our companies who are doing well into the 5 figures on a monthly basis. In many of our companies, we have 6-figure monthly earners. A lot of people outside of network marketing just don't even know that's possible. Many of you probably didn't know that was possible. And did you know that there are a good amount of people and growing, but a good amount of people in our profession who are doing 7 figures monthly? And so the thing is, you want to display the lifestyle in this profession. That's just an example of what you want people to understand. Understand that people are able to do this business from the comfort of home. They wake up with more money than they went to sleep with. That's a great feeling, guys. Now, what about on the personal side? Show that side of yourself. Still show people that you're a regular person. Even as you climb the ranks in this business, and I've had to keep this in mind as well, even as you climb the ranks, you still want people to understand that you're a regular human being. And then also on the business side of things, guess what? You want to occasionally, not all the time, but as your company, maybe they come out with a new product or a new service or a new widget, a new gadget, all right? You want to put out I would say, a little blog entry, a little journal entry. All right, let people know what's going on and why you're excited. Not necessarily trying to sell people, but you want to let people know what has you so excited, okay? So again, remember your audience, show your lifestyle, allow them to get to know you. You can even provide great tips. This is something that I love, because even prior to getting into network marketing, I can now think back to a lot of the people that I used to follow. There was one young lady who tried to prospect me into her business. I wasn't interested. It wasn't the opportunity for me at the time, but I read a lot of her blog entries, and it made me a little bit more open to the idea of network marketing, because she was so good at communicating her message. Now, what was interesting was she marketed cosmetics and jewelry. Now, what's interesting was I was even a little bit piqued by that. And, you know, as a grown man looking at cosmetics and jewelry, that just shows you the amount of, I would say, value that she provided. She really provided some interesting information. Also contribute quotes, inspirational photos, and even inspirational videos. There are so many people out there. Number one, you want people who are motivated. You don't want to have to motivate your team. Because if you have to motivate people before they get in the business, well, guess what? When you recruit them, you're going to have to motivate them. When they're in your business, you're going to have to motivate them. And in order to get them to the next level, you're going to have to motivate them. Instead of having to motivate your team, you want to find motivated people. So when you post up quotes and things like that, you'll start to attract people who are like you, people who love personal development. This is something that will help your business grow so much further. All right. And last but not least, you want to start building a following by interacting and engaging friends. Now, I from time to time, I would say twice a week, I go on a friend adding binge. I'll try to find friends of friends, people I used to go to school with, former coworkers, thinking of people I used to know. I'll ask my family, hey, who is our family out in Virginia I haven't seen in a while? And I'll add people. I'll be social. You want to build your following and continue to be social, interact, see which comments you didn't reply to, and even find ways to interact with others. Because guess what? If you've already done the first pillar effectively by having a good profile, guys, having a clear photo, making sure that you're prepared, then this becomes so much easier. Now you're seeing how these pillars are actually building on top of each other. Okay? So that's all part of providing content. Now, last but not least, in providing content, look at blogging. Blogging is something that's really helped me out tremendously. People are looking at your blogs, you guys. I don't even consider my blog one of the best blogs out there, but I'm telling you, if you were to see my stats on my blog, it's ridiculous. I'm getting thousands of views every single month on my blog. It's ridiculous. And the thing is, all I'm doing is I'm sharing opinions, I'm sharing facts. Some days I may not have much to write about. Like the other day, I posted a video with a well-known home business CPA named Sandy Botkin. You can look him up. Sandy Botkin has a great video out there, by the way, on how having a home-based business helps with your taxes. It actually helps with tax deductions. So I posted the video up, and I'm telling you, that video got so many hits. And I wrote like a little one-paragraph little blurb before I posted the video, but that was a blog. Other blogs might be surrounding a photo, maybe a photo I've seen, maybe some company news, some lifestyle, maybe something that happened to me. But all a blog is, guys, is an online diary. All right? This is essential. It allows you to express your thoughts, your views, and it will help people find you. My blog, people are finding, and I'm asking them. Sometimes people leave a comment. They'll write me, and I'll ask them how they found me. They'll say, well, they were doing a Google search, and my blog came up. So isn't that something? Just by being, I don't know, talkative in a way, sharing your ideas, your thoughts, and your opinions, people can find you, and it will help recruit people into your business, okay? And last but not least, in terms of providing valuable content, is automation. You see that guy there, looks like that character in Street Fighter. What was his name? Goro, with all the arms. Oh, man. For those of you guys out there who are busy, I think this is everybody. Oh, and by the way, don't you guys hate it when prospects say I'm busy? I'm busy. Oh, I'm so busy. And you're like, gosh, I'm not busy? Anyway, we're all busy individuals. But the thing is, there's so much social media stuff out there. And when you have a busy schedule, especially like mine, I operate my just personally, I operate my network marketing business. It also allows me to run my two other businesses. I still operate my publishing company, and I run a modeling business. And this tool right here, just in terms of automation, helps keep my social media alive even when I'm busy. Right now, even if you check my social media, you'll probably see automated messages that are going out, letting people know, hey, check out the webinar, check out the webinar. And here I am talking to you guys. How is that possible? It's through automation. Now, because it's 2015 and about to be 2016 soon, all right, this is something that's going to become more and more prevalent. Now, this allows for updates, pictures, and videos to be scheduled ahead of time. You can actually pre-schedule things. So, for instance, I remember during the Super Bowl, I was traveling, for instance. I was actually traveling to get to Boston to be with family to watch the Patriots win, which they did. But even while I was on the road, I had my social media firing up. And it wasn't because I was tweeting from the car. It was because I had pre-scheduled things, because I was egging a lot of my friends on in Seattle about us beating them, okay? But the thing is, whether it's New Year's, a special holiday, maybe your company's coming out with something, maybe you know you're traveling to your company event and you want your social media to be firing off even when you're traveling. Or how about many of us who are working or tending to the kids or going to be on the road or just inaccessible? You want to have your social media just firing off. And so understand that you want to incorporate automation into your routine. Now, a great service that I use, and I'll spill this right now, is called Hootsuite. All right, write that down. HOOTSUITE. Hootsuite, okay? Hoot like an owl and suite like a hotel, all right? Now, Hootsuite's awesome. There's others out there. It's a lot to Hootsuite, but take the time to use it. Learn how to really automate your social media so that it's on autopilot even as you go about your day, all right? Now, once you've gotten pillars 1 and 2 down, I'm telling you the rest are easier. Not easy, but easier, okay? Now, again, you've prepared. You know the lay of the land. You have all your tools. You have your camera, and then you're providing valuable content. You're inspiring people. You're showing yourself in a position of authority. You're providing meaningful blogs. You're automating your stuff. Well, when you're doing all this, guys, people will start to notice you. So I think there's two sides. Now, most of you guys, now many of you guys might be experts already. You're just watching to critique me, right? But I feel like most of this audience, and just try to figure out where you are today. Half of you guys are in a situation where maybe the problem is that you're posting great things on social media, you're providing great content, but yet you're trying to figure out why people aren't hopping in your business. And I've seen so many people, they post and post and post and post and post, and they're trying to figure out why their business isn't growing. So that's probably half of you guys. The other half, you're not doing so much posting, but you're prospecting your butt off. You're contacting classmates, friends, dogs, cats, birds. I mean, no one's joining. You're trying to figure out why the problem is happening. The thing is, you have to do a little bit of both. It's the pre-work and it's the prospecting. So for those of you guys, especially who are posting to your heart's content, you're going to have to become a master at prospecting. Now, prospecting, of course, is the cornerstone of why any network marketing business can boom or crash, okay? Now, prospecting is so important because it allows all of us to build a bigger customer base. That's the cornerstone of network marketing. Many of you guys who are brand new in network marketing may not understand why is the emphasis on recruiting so darn much? Well, it's recruiting simply because we're building a large base, all right? The example that I always love to use is McDonald's, right? The reason why McDonald's sells more chicken than Popeyes, and it's true, look it up. The reason why they're the biggest fast food retailer of chicken has nothing to do with the quality of the chicken sandwich at McDonald's, okay? It's very subpar. I personally think that the chicken at all these other places is much more delicious. I don't even eat chicken anymore, but anyway, that's besides the point. The thing is, the reason why McDonald's sells more chicken is because they have more points of distribution. If you were to equate that with what we do, they are the triple crown diamond in your company because they have more distributors. So the more distributors that you have, the bigger potential of volume that you're getting paid on, or the bigger potential of your customer base. So the thing is, I'm going to really focus on helping you guys prospect to success. Now, again, social media allows you to connect with more people with less effort. Now, it still requires effort, especially in the beginning. But as you start to build a bigger team, all right, you still want to stay in what we call phase 1. You still want to be personally recruiting, but now you'll start to see your business take a life of its own, like mine has. I've been very blessed, but I want to help you guys do the same thing. So that being said, now when you're prospecting, obviously, most of our businesses teach us this. This is a quick review, but we have two types of markets. We have warm versus cold. Very quickly, we already know warm market is the market that we're afraid of the most, because even though it sounds more welcoming, it usually isn't. Our warm market are people that we know, friends, family, and associates, right? Now, here's your approach. Use social media to find people you know and connect with them. Now, with Facebook and LinkedIn, mind you, these are the easiest tools to find your warm market, okay? Now, it's easy to connect, but you will normally encounter more resistance when you deal with friends and family. Now, that's why many of us are scared, because we approach friends and family, they're negative, and we don't want to do this business anymore. It happens, okay? But then again, you have people that you don't know, the cold market. Now, the thing is, you do still want to use social media to find people you don't know and connect with them also. Any social media network can work, but the thing is, it's harder to connect, but the resistance is less common. You usually get less resistance. And when I say it's harder to connect, it's harder to connect if you're an amateur with this profession. But if you're doing pillars 1 and 2 effectively, if you have a great profile, if you're providing great content, it's easier to connect. So what I'm about to go through with you guys is how you're able to get these folks into your business. Now, here are the 4. Now, I want you guys to, I give you permission. Take a picture of this. This has helped me build a large team. It's not complicated. It's quite simple. I won't say it's easy, but it's quite simple. You've done steps 1 and 2 effectively. Well, guess what? This is going to flow right in. First thing that you want to do is when you come across somebody, find things you have in common, address them by name, compliment them, and ask a question that provokes a response. So I'm going to get to the good stuff, guys. So the thing is, here's what I did. All right. With most of my my statements to folks in the way that I ask them questions, I'll compliment them. I'll say, hey, I saw you online, noticed you were a graduate of X, Y, and Z, and this is just an example. I'll compliment them. Hey, you look extremely sharp. You appear to be a public speaker. What do you do? And I ask them more questions about their background. So those are the things that I did all in that one paragraph, okay? And sometimes I'll stretch this out. Other times I'll condense it, okay? Let's say I have a goal that I want to get 20 no's in one day, which is a great goal, right, guys? You want to approach as many people as possible, but you want to do so in a way where you're disarming them. You want to find things in common, address them by name so they know it's not spam, compliment them, and then ask them a question that provokes a response. Get to know them, okay? Now, as you're prospecting individuals, okay, understand that, guess what? Now what, right? Look at the cat. Everybody loves kittens. But now what? What you want to do as you're connecting with people, you want to spend time building rapport. You want to show people that you care. What do they say? People don't know how, or people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So you want to share your opportunity when the timing is right. The thing is, with some people, if you've done everything effectively, and I've seen this so many times, there are some people, and I promise you guys this, no exaggeration, there are people who I'll add them. And this is usually my recommendation. Now, listen clearly. I've provided, let's say I have a great profile, right? On Facebook, for instance. I'll add somebody, okay? As I'm adding them, of course, I'm still providing great content. I'm just doing my thing. Have my stuff automated, have my blogs, posting my blogs. Usually after about 3 or 4 days, I'll say hello. After hello, they'll say, you know what? I'm so glad you wrote me. Thanks for accepting my request, or thanks for requesting me a couple of days ago. What you do looks so interesting. Tell me what you do. Now, they're peaking themselves. The thing is, guys, I'm walking through all the little baby steps. But if you've done the first 2 pillars effectively, the rest of this is going to flow smooth. Okay? But the thing is, if you're walking through this in baby steps, initially, you want to get good at building rapport because you're going to be a little bit rusty. So build rapport. Then you're going to want to find ways to transition that rapport. Once you built it, it's going to be easier to transition that prospect to the phone. So many of us are on social media, we're connecting with people, but we're not building enough rapport. So once we try to get someone into the real world, so to speak, all right, onto the phone, into real life, it's awkward. It won't be awkward if you build the proper amount of rapport. So you want to do that, show them how much you care, and then you want to close them into your business. I don't have time to get to it now, but write this down. There's a great video by Tony Robbins. This is free. I'm gonna pack you guys in with some information. Tony Robbins has a great video on YouTube, and just search for Tony Robbins Rapport, RAPPORT. Tony Robbins Building Rapport. It's about a 25-minute video. It's free. I guess it's bootleg, but it's phenomenal, okay? And he talks about how you build rapport, and you can translate a lot of those skills into social media prospecting, okay? But the thing is, like I just said, like I keep saying, if you prepared and you provided valuable content, then prospecting is so much easier, okay? Now, 4th pillar, presenting. When you present this thing, you want to think big. Many of you guys are in international companies, but yet you don't know how to build outside of your market. So this is where this stops. As you see on the right, a lot of you guys may not like Donald Trump. A lot of you guys love him. A lot of you guys don't care for him, right? But what I loved about Donald Trump is this quote. He says, I like thinking big. If you're going to be thinking anything, you might as well think big. And I agree. Now, my particular opportunity, we just broke ground internationally. We're now in about 7 countries. Many of you guys are part of opportunities where you're in over 100 countries already. Some of you guys are in opportunities where you're not yet international. Wherever your company is, I don't care if you guys are just local. It doesn't matter. Build the biggest team that you can. So by the time you guys do expand, or when you guys do expand further, you're going to increase your ability to expand overseas. If you have a bigger team locally, chances are those people know people elsewhere. But here's the caveat, and this is what many of your companies aren't telling you, and that is that it's so important for you to learn effective ways of presenting outside of your market. Now, a lot of you guys might be thinking, well, I don't really have, flight privileges like that. I can't just fly from California to New Orleans or from New Orleans to Zimbabwe to build a team. And the thing is, I'm not asking you to do that. In 2015 and 2016, you could do it so much easier than that. And that's simply by learning social media, really learning this thing and how to effectively communicate your ideas across state, province, and country lines. So the thing is, as you see here, in 2015, it's hard to grow an international business with a local approach. All right. Now, you have to learn the art of presenting and sharing information around the world. You have to learn it. You got to think big. Okay. Now, one of the things that we've been able to do, we've actually been able to grow our team. Like I've said, we're about 30 states in. We're in several provinces in Canada. We're expanding to Asia and also into Latin America. We're about to bring on some partners elsewhere. But this is because we've mastered presenting social media overseas. Okay. So how is this done? First thing that you need to understand how to do are webinars. Obviously, we're doing it right now. Now, this is for all of you guys. I don't care what your company's telling. Well, I do care what your company's telling you. You want to follow your company's system. But please learn your company's presentation and become a good presenter. Please learn your company's presentation and become a good presenter. I don't care what company you're a part of. It's great to push play. Now, I'll give you guys a secret. When I invite people to my home, I'll stand up. I'll tell them my why. I'll show them pictures of my parents and all the things that I want in my life. But then guess what? I'll sit down and I'll push play. So you might be asking, well, why should I learn my presentation if all I'm doing is pushing play? Pushing play is part of it. Boy, I'm using a lot of P's. Pushing play is part of it. But the thing is, when you're building an international brand online, realize that you're the CEO of your own business. Eventually, I don't care if you're reading word for word what someone else has done. I don't care if you're looking, and here's something that I personally done. I found the best presenter in my company. I learned his presentation. I even wrote his presentation out word for word. I heard it on YouTube and I just kept playing it back. I wrote it down word for word and I recited it verbatim, made it my own and put it on YouTube. Check that out. Now, you guys can all do the same thing. The reason why that's so important is because there are people who are finding me that I didn't have to find. There are people who saw that presentation, loved it, and they wanted to join my team. What many of your companies aren't telling you, and I think I'm ahead of myself, I think it's ahead. But what many of your companies aren't telling you guys is that you want to brand yourself. Oh yeah, I am ahead of myself, but I'm giving you guys some good information. You want to brand yourself because what many of you guys are doing, you're over edifying your top earners. Now you do want to edify, but you don't want to over edify. You always want to find ways of associating yourself with success. Because if you're not edifying yourself enough, then the people who find you, particularly cold market, they have no reason to support you. All right, I'm gonna give a quick aside. This is a little bonus info. There's a gentleman. Now, I'm not gonna call him out. If he's watching, great, because he'll learn something. But there's a gentleman in every, I would say, month or so, for the past several months, He approaches me, and I could tell he's trying to prospect me into his business, and I'm polite. We'll kind of exchange notes. I could tell he's kind of afraid to pull the trigger. But, you know, I'm not interested. I'm not open. But the thing is, what he does, which I personally feel is suicide, is he overemphasizes his sponsor. The first thing that he says is, my sponsor has done this. My sponsor is so great. My sponsor saved the world. My sponsor saved the whales. He feeds children in Mars. I don't know, right? But he overemphasizes his sponsor to the point where even if I wanted to join his business, I would join his sponsor. I wouldn't join under him. So you want to always find a way of putting yourself in setting yourself up as a figure of authority. What I've done, here's what you do, however, because we're all taught to edify. So we could do three-way calls and such. But what you want to do is find a way to associate yourself with your sponsor or with your top earners. Take pictures with them, not just of them. Have them, you know, edify them, maybe do a video interview, but then have them reverse edify you. That's what you want to do, all right? I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but coming back to webinars anyway, you want to utilize the services that allow you to present to audiences around the world. This one's a decent one, but there are a lot of other great tools out there that allow you to collect emails and the like. And the thing is, you also want to advertise to your team and your prospects, because guess what? As you start to build a team and you do a webinar, well, guess what? Your webinar can also be seen by their prospects. And what will that do? That will not only increase your brand, but now you can help your team members recruit. And now they'll see what you're doing and they'll replicate your results. I have several individuals on our team who are also doing webinars, who I've taught, you know, here's how you do the webinar, boom, 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 and now they're up and running. And so now your business starts to get on autopilot. So you really want to learn that, guys. Also, you want to learn how to use a push play tool or a link. Now, for social media, this is vital. There are some people that, especially if they're cold market, they're not yet comfortable enough with respect to getting with me on the phone right away. Sometimes they just want some information as soon as possible. So you want to have a link that's easily shared. Now, many of you guys are saying that's too simple, Ricardo. I knew this already. I just use YouTube. But don't think too fast. YouTube, for the most part, not a good idea. Why? You send someone a YouTube link to your presentation. Honestly, what do you think they're doing? They'll watch the presentation maybe for about a minute, maybe 2 or 3, but guess what? Then they're clicking on related videos. Now they look on the side and they see your company's name and why it's a scam. And we all know, if you guys don't already know how this works, a lot of people go on YouTube and they'll put the name of your company in scam because they know people are driven by negativity. Curious people are going to click on that video, and then they'll see a person in that video saying, hey, it's really not a scam, it's a great idea, boom, 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 join my team. But you're having people who are distracted, and YouTube is a cesspool for distraction. Here's what you need to do. What you need to do is find a link or create a link that allows people to view your company's presentation without all the extra distractions. All right. And if you're good, find a way to have them do it where they can't even, there's no way that they can be distracted. They go right to your video, then they come right back to you. Okay. So the thing is, you want to know how to create a good shareable link if one does not yet exist for your opportunity. This is vital. This is something that I create for my existing company. Any partner in my company can actually get that tool from me. But whatever it is for your company, find it. And if you don't have it, create it. All right. This is so important. Even Eric Worre has said this. Eric Worre actually mentioned that one of his biggest boosts with respect to network marketing when he was a distributor in the 90s was when he recorded his company presentation on a cassette tape. Now, of course, those are ancient now. But because of that, and because he distributed that, that led to a fast-growing business. Well, in this day and age, it should be about not only using tangible tools, but you want to use online tools because that's where everyone is. That being said, the 5th pillar, I'm bringing this all together, and stay tuned. I have a special surprise right at the end. We're coming down to the last few minutes, But stay tuned. The last part of this is branding, guys. This helps prospects see you as the only one that provides solutions to their problems. Now, not to say that you're putting everybody else down, but you want to be that ultimate source of authority. This will help ensure long-lasting success in network marketing. You got to build your brand, guys. You got to build it. You got to build it. Look at branding. Go to branding seminars. Goodness gracious. Find people who are building a brand. It is a deep, deep discipline. That being said, what is your MLM not telling you? And this is what I told you before. If you don't build your brand, every one of you guys on this webinar, if you are just edifying someone else, all right, and you see that little picture there, the little figurine putting the head on someone else, but if you over edify someone else too much, you're killing yourself. You're building their brand, but not your own. Take the time to build your own as well. Now, you want to strike a balance between edifying and overly praising any one individual. Very early on in my business, I started to build a brand. I remember people were coming to me when I was at my first corporately earned position. It wasn't because I was doing anything special or I was phenomenally special in any way, I would say. It was because I started to build something very recognizable. Okay? So here's a good tip. Like I said before, take pictures with top earners versus just sharing their posts and their pictures and their videos. You want to always associate yourself with success. If you can track down your co-founders, take pictures with them. All right? People will start to see you as a person of authority. That being said, here are ways to build your brand. Create your own look and feel with social media. I have colors of my brand. My colors are red and black. What are your colors? Have a logo. Excuse me. Have colors, have themes, have slogans, have hashtags. Build a campaign. And have at least one presentation with your voice specifically for cold market contacts. This is key. So key. Guys, oh, this is great info. And here's something else I need to tell you guys. Look, many of you guys, for all intents and purposes, this was great information. Hope you guys got a lot of value. But for many, and for a few of you guys, if you're truly ready for a next level, I really want to break down each of these pillars to the T. So for instance, showing you guys screenshots, actually showing you guys my list, how I was able to build a list off social media, all this stuff. I want to break all of this down to each one of you guys. I couldn't do it tonight. We're already over time. But the thing is, here are some things to consider. Now, if you are very serious about building your business, get a mentor, okay? Mentorship is successful. Successful people never reach their goals alone, all right? Also understand that the best teachers are the best students. There are people that I follow like borderline stalking. Like Eric Worre, I read up on Eric Worre so much, it was ridiculous. When I met him, I was starstruck, okay? Les Brown, same thing. When I met him, I was starstruck. And a lot of these people, they may have noticed me. They may have noticed my brand. Many of the top earners in my company, I'm starstruck when I meet them, but they're starstruck when they meet me. And what's interesting is that they know my brand. I built a brand within the company that is large, and in some cases is larger than the company. Please don't tell my company that. I respect them a lot, but that's what you want to do. You want to build a brand that takes on a life of its own. So understand that I've spent thousands of dollars learning, and now I want to pass the knowledge on to you. I want to break this thing down for you guys. So here's what I'm doing, guys. First thing I want to let you guys know is that both myself and my sponsor in this business, his name is David the Motivator Farrell. David the Motivator Farrell and I created a training late last year called Social Media Training for Your MLM Business. This stuff is groundbreaking. Here's what we did. In about a little over an hour, we have a DVD and CD combo that covers many of the essentials of social media marketing. Here's what this does that I didn't have time to do tonight. Not only do we break down more statistics, more facts and figures with respect to social media prospecting and marketing, but we also spoke about in detail what to post, when to post it, timing of posts. Also, more conversation scripts with respect to how do you converse with people, and then how you bring them from an online interaction to offline. And then we talk more about automation. As a matter of fact, I have some screenshots in there showing you how to get started with automation. And then we go into even more detail with respect to perfecting your brand. We do all of this, and that retail price is $69.95. We sold out of so many where we're actually have some on back order right now, but we're putting more out the beginning of next week. So if you guys want to be the first to get your shipment, you can go to socialmediamentorship.com right now and get that. It's $49.95 for a limited time, and I believe we only have until tomorrow at midnight. So midnight Eastern time. So you want to get that. But the thing is, guys, that's great. That's a phenomenal training, and that will help. Okay? That will really help. But many of you guys want more. And I understand you want more. And that doesn't quite cover the gamut. I think many of us are looking for hand-holding. We need help. And that's something that I needed. So for those of you guys who really need help, oh, and before I even get there, this was our training. We've actually taken this training on the road. That's myself on the left. In that picture on the left, that's one of our students, and that's David Farrell on the right. In the middle, that was us at another training, and we did trainings with respect to this DVD CD combo. It's been phenomenal. But then again, guys, look, we have more. And the thing is, I decided I was gonna say to myself, and I was saying to myself, you know what? Let's do an intense immersion style coaching class. Let's do, oh, and even before we get there, I'm sorry. Woo! I'm ahead of myself. Before that, many of you guys are part of businesses where you can earn a lot of money through customer acquisition. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this, but this is called the 10 techniques to getting past the gatekeeper. So in this particular training, this is actually an audio disc. It's only $19.95 for a limited time. We talk about how to immediately disarm any gatekeeper and get them on your side, ways to quickly turn a cold prospect into a hot one, how to handle questions such as, are they expecting your call? This is really meant for businesses, or I guess if any of your customers are retail customers. So for instance, if you're in a coffee business, how do you get to coffee retailers and buyers? If you're in an energy or services marketing business, how do you get to the gatekeeper with respect to marketing your service? If you're in a shake business, how do you get to buyers and retailers to get your product on shelves so now you can start earning big time retail commissions? I think this is most of us. This is vital. And I personally closed, at the time, it was the largest energy deal in our company. This is in the late 2012. It's no longer the largest. But if you were to Google search my name and largest deal, then you'll actually see a 2-hour-long interview where I explained how we closed a deal that is continuing to pay us today. And very soon thereafter, I wrote this audio guide just breaking down how you get past the gatekeeper. Okay? But all that's great. And so many people love that. I tutored and helped so many people get where they want. A lot of people have used what I was able to do when they've closed big deals that have shadowed mine. But what I want to do with all of you guys is I want to take it a step further. I decided to create an all-intense 5-week mentorship program. Now, I've never done this before. I actually had a similar program with Mr. Farrell, but this one, I want to make sure that it's massive. I want to take as much time as we need to break this down. I want to give you all these tools that we discussed. So here's what we're doing. This is a 5-week social media mentorship intensive. Now, the price that you see there is not the price that I'm going to offer to you guys, because you guys took the time to get on this webinar. We had that snafu last night, so that's not going to be the final price. But let me break down what this entails. First off, we're going to start, tentatively, we're going to start next Sunday, March 12th at 6 p.m. Eastern. But these are going to be recorded. So even if you can't attend live, you'll have unlimited playback material, okay? So it's going to be 5 detailed recorded webinar sessions. Now, I am going to be live, though. So if you are able to attend live, not only will you be able to watch, but we'll have an interactive Q&A afterwards. So whatever questions that you have, you get to ask me and I'll answer you directly. And we will stay on until all questions are answered. How about that? Now, here's a detailed breakdown. Exactly what to say, examples of what things to post, where to get great content, where I get all my content, which is so many different places, and how to transition to the phone. I also am going to break down how I have my social media on autopilot. I'll actually log into my account, show you the groups that I post to, how my algorithms work. I'm going to break all this down to you guys. And I'm going to break down how to be a video ninja. Many of you guys, especially if you're in my current company, you know me as the guy with all the videos. I've had people come up to me, hug me, grown men telling me it's a pleasure to speak with me. And I'm so humbled by that. I say that humbly. But I've learned, and I learned from some of the biggest gurus that I could find with respect to video marketing. And so I'm going to break down how I become a video ninja, okay, in terms of how to grab videos from any website. I can grab any video, all right, post it into my site within minutes and be on the road while doing it. How am I able to do that? Well, I'm going to break this down in this course. I'm also going to tell you guys how I'm able to brand my content for just a few dollars. When I say a few dollars, I'm talking under 15, under 10 bucks. Okay. Now, all these sessions are recorded for unlimited playback. We have an audio and a video option. We are going to have a Q&A, like I said, at the end of every segment, and so much more, guys. So here's what I'm going to do. Instead of $199, how about $99? All right. And this is only going to be, I know it says 48 hours, only going to be for 24 hours. Or I was supposed to air this yesterday. So this expires tomorrow, Friday, March 6th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys want to be among the first to get into this intensive, you're going to have to get over to Social Media Mentorship right now. Definitely go there. You can pay with any major form of payment. Get on. And you'll be among the first to get this phenomenal information. You'll be working directly with me, but there's more. Here's what I'm also going to do. As you guys already understand, my 5-week mentorship class, it's a $199 value. It's $99.95. That ends tomorrow. We also have this social media training DVD with myself and Mr. Farrell. $69 retail value. It's $49.95. That ends tomorrow. We also have the 10 techniques to getting past the gatekeeper audio CD. That's $19.95. That ends tomorrow. The total retail value, oh, I blew the surprise. The total retail value for all of that, though, guys, is $300. We're doing this for half. You can get all three. Get the 5-week mentorship class. Get the social media training DVD CD combo mailed to you. You're going to get the 10 techniques to getting past the gatekeeper CD mailed to you. You're going to get all of that and get a seat in our 5-week mentorship class, all three, for $149.97. Now, this is only at socialmediamentorship.com, and this ends tomorrow night. After that, it goes back up to retail. So the thing is, guys, you got a lot of value. Now, that's great. I'm going to leave this up for a little while longer so you guys can kind of record that. And make sure you start heading over to socialmediamentorship.com right now. Check out what we got and definitely place your orders before everything changes. Now, here's the thing, guys. As you guys write this down. Now, look, socialmediamentorship.com. There are so many people who ask themselves, you know, what would it mean? What would it mean? Now, this is what I want to ask you guys. A lot of you guys might be looking at the price tag. You're like, okay, that's a lot of money. All right. That's like half the cost that it cost me to get into my opportunity. But here's what I want to ask you guys. What would it mean if our mentorship course helped you just recruit 5 people? Just 5 people over the next 30 days. Now, I know in our company, 5 new recruits can land you about $1,250 if you're able to do it in a month by itself. I know depending on when you're launching in your business and during promo periods, it could be much more than that. But even think of the long term. What would it mean if just 5 new people got into your business in the next 30 days? And, you know, if that happened, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it if you could teach your team to do the same thing? Would it be worth it? Just imagine if you recruited a couple people, but you helped maybe 3 or 4 others recruit a couple people. You could have 8, 9, 10 new people on your team. What would that mean? Would it be worth the $149.97? Now, for me, absolutely. And so that's why I've invested. So you're going to have to ask yourself, what would it mean? What would it mean if you could rank advance 1 or even 2 levels before your next company event? All right, as a result of our mentorship. Now, me personally, I'll give you guys a personal story. Personally, my business took off pretty well, but I would say between months 3 and months 9, my business was flat, completely flat. It totally changed when I invested. All right, hold on, guys. Looks like we lost our webinar. Hold on. All right, but I got to this course, so we're going to keep going. I got to this course, and I realized that, let me go ahead and bring this back up, guys. I know many of you guys were looking at the slides. I wasn't ready. But a lot of, what I realized was that I had to invest to get myself to the next level. And when I got myself to this particular training course, I realized that this business was deep. I learned so much. And as a matter of fact, here's what I am going to cover. I didn't even include this on the slides. One thing that I learned at this training course, I spent $300 on the course. Between accommodations and everything else is about $700. But what I learned was how to use leads effectively without spending any money. Hello. Many of you guys are spending money on leads. I don't spend money on leads at all. I get free leads, and they're great leads. So how do you do that? I found a way to get a free standalone voicemail system. So when someone calls any number that's on the bottom of my video, well, guess what? They get a voicemail that's me, that puts me in a position of authority, but yet, guess what? They have to leave a message, and now I can call them back at my convenience. I learned all of this through various trainings. I'm going to break this down during this 5-week mentorship session. So what if you can rank advance? Here's what I had to understand. If you change nothing about your situation, nothing will change. Nothing. So if you're happy where you are, and I just truly believe that if you're still on with me, and we still have most of our viewers on, you know something needs to change. And the beauty about it is that there's only one person who can make that change, and that's that beautiful person looking in that mirror. But we have to make that change. So all that being said, guys, look, get all 3. You're going to get the most bang for your buck. You're going to get a great amount of value. Here's the way that you want to look at it. If you get all 3, not only will you have a great DVD or a great CD on customer acquisition, because we all acquire customers. You could teach your team how to do the same thing by breaking down the walls and getting to the person who can actually help you close big deals. But on top of that, guess what? You'll have a social media training disc that you can actually view before we actually do our mentorship class or while we're doing the mentorship. So this is going to actually help you and put you ahead of people who just went in at the $99 level. So the thing is, get all 3 for $149.97. Go to socialmediamentorship.com right now. Place your orders right now. The website is now live, socialmediamentorship.com. I'm going to actually see if I can log in and actually show you what this website looks like. It's a very well done website, if I should say so myself. We actually just had it done the other day, but it's very, very simple. It's just one page, and it allows you to quickly, easily, and securely go ahead and order. And then once you order, you'll be sent all the confirmation info right to your email. So let me see if I can go ahead and bring that up for you guys. How you doing? And I'm gonna actually show you guys what this site looks like. So here's the site. You should hopefully see my picture. Let me see. Yeah, you see my picture here. And this is our social media program. All right. And so as it says here, click below to be one of the first to participate. Limited spots available. Sale ends on Friday, which is tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. So of course you can go here to buy that. You see the CD DVD combo. You see our 5-week class, and then you can get all 3. And this is where I really want you guys to focus. Get all 3 right here. All right. So I think we might have some bandwidth issues. So let me bring the screen back. There we go. All right. So that loaded up. All right, guys. So here's what we're going to do. I want to take a moment and thank all of you guys for tuning in tonight. We're going to really break this down. As you can see, I'm here at my parents'. We head back home very, very soon. But guys, look, definitely check out that training. Get it. Check it out. Get the social media mentorship. And what I want to make sure that everybody does is get that in before prices go up, because there will be inflation after midnight tomorrow. So all that being said, guys, I want to thank you. And if you remember that mouse at the beginning, remember, if you're prepared for success, you are going to get that cheese. All right, guys? So as you see, he got the cheese. He escaped the trap. He had his helmet. He was prepared. He knew all 5 pillars. And so I hope that this information has been valuable for you guys. And I look forward for those of you guys who are serious. I look forward to seeing you guys during our 5-week class. Definitely enjoy all the materials. God bless you guys. Have yourself a wonderful night. Take care. God bless you. This is Ricardo Suber on socialmediamentorship.com, and have yourself a great night and take care.